I'm back again with D&D related content, but you can apply these concepts here to other creative endeavors too if you think them through different perspectives. This stuff is, I hope, all around good advice. So before we dive in, hi, if you don't know me, I'm Jenna. I go by Lucky Muse online. I'm a digital artist that loves fantasy, RPGs, and life hacks. I try to make content that lifts and inspires others in their creative adventures, so if you enjoy this work, please let me know. And I just want to say that I've monetized this video, so you may see some ad breaks. If you have an ad blocker on, that's fine, I don't mind at all, but if you have it off, there'll be 2 planned ad breaks in this video. So, let's dive in. I'm all about strong foundations, so let's quickly address the contrast effect. It's super simple, we all know it. Basically, we are all way more likely to remember an unexpected thing, a juxtaposition. An example of this would be the famous story of a blind beggar on the street. He had been there for most of the day with a donation cup, and it was empty. He also had a sign that said, "I'm blind, please help." So another man stopped to help, but instead of giving him money, he actually rewrote the sign. And by the end of the day, the blind man's cup was filled with money. The sign now said, "It is spring and I am blind." Instead of just logically conveying information, "I am blind," and asking for an action, "Please help," it now told a story. Specifically, a story that worked with people's imaginations, their memories, and sparked their emotion far more intimately than the first sentence. It got people's attention, it got interaction, and it was an unexpected contrast. I think everybody feels the call to make a unique character to some degree in fantasy games. That's kind of the point. Perhaps even to make them super normal, which follows the contrast principle just because every other character has some striking or dramatic thing about them or their story. But the thing is, if the sign went on to list more striking things or information, it would quickly start to lose potency, and it would be harder for other people to follow. That blind man was so much more than blind, but for the interactions taking place, people didn't need to know every single detail. So you want to pick your contrasting elements carefully and sparingly so that they give you and the other players the greatest impact in building story together. Commit to those core parts of the character you want to play and focus on presenting them in a way that moves others. The donators to the blind man's cup wanted to be involved in that man's story and in a way that led to real change. This is what we want. When you pick a bond, flaw, or other personality trait in D&D, it's typically limited to 1 sentence. Lean into that. Keep it simple to keep it potent. And remember that the backstory is only the beginning to what happens next. And while a goal should be to incite curiosity and engagement from other players, the main goal of a backstory is to be a framework that supports future character development, which is where the but therefore secret comes in. As a quick side note, you can check out my character journal videos to see how I took my character's changing beliefs and traits and made an easily changeable aesthetic page right next to my main character sheet, so I'd always be reminded to be grounded in my character's unique perspective. Okay, so how do you make an actual written backstory from your contrast effect, traits, flaws, goals, and all that? The but therefore rule. Simply, this is a framework where you focus on replacing your and thens with but and therefore. For example, a dragonborn woman goes to forage mushrooms for a town apothecary, and then it rains, and then she explores a nearby cave, and then she finds an ancient ruin inside, she cannot understand the writing, and then she goes to visit her uncle. Let's turn this into a more exciting journey simply by utilizing the but therefore rule. A dragonborn woman goes to pick mushrooms for the town apothecary, but it is raining. Therefore, she enters a nearby cave, but she finds an ancient ruin with writing she doesn't understand. Therefore, she runs back to the village to speak with her uncle. You can tell that using but and therefore creates a feeling of tension and helps create a flow to the circumstances and consequences in the narrative structure. The events that take place happen due to a chain reaction from what previously happened in the story. So take your contrast effect, ideas, traits, flaws, core story elements you want, and figure out where they exist best in the but therefore chain of your story. Where do you feel tension? What creates excitement and a desire to know what happens next? And remember, backstories in D&D inherently need to be cliffhangers, because they're the start of where the DM brings you into the story. And speaking of the DM, the best way to connect with the campaign is to not just tell your character story, but to actively invite the DM into that story, where they are the hero of the resolution to the story. You are the guide. You are helping them win the day, just like the patron's the blind man that couldn't see spring flowers. The reason why this is important is because it is a game about collaborative-based storytelling. Just like your character needs reasons to join the party and care about the main quest, your DM needs hooks to pull your character's arc into the storyline. Interesting hooks. Hooks that ideally mean something to everyone at the table, and it would potentially aid them in pushing your party along the main storyline track. So basically, how do you tell your character story well? Your character's story shouldn't just be about them. If you feel like I've given you genuine value so far, and you want to pass it on, a simple like or comment on this video is truly a big impact. Sharing and subscribing will also help spread these videos to others like us and help them out too. And since you've watched this far into the video already, I think you'd really find a sense of community in our family over on our Discord. So I invite you to check that out too, and I look forward to meeting you. Lastly, at the end of your backstory, you should always consider creating a short bullet point style wish list to your DM. Items are an obvious thing, but you should also share your wishes for any character story stuff you'd really love to see or explore. Of course, don't demand or try to commandeer the narrative. This is a wish list, so your DM can better understand you and the character behind the scenes. And again, it potentially aids them by giving them ideas to pull up later on. So that's it. Following these guides should really help you with developing and refining backstories, I hope. What characters are you developing? Share with me and others in the community down in the comments if you'd like, or on our lovely little Discord. And please comment with a white heart to let me know that you're one of the ones that watched all the way through. And as a thanks to all of you two creatives and adventurers out there, I have another Steam key to give away. I usually stick to at least one game key in my videos as a thank you, so subscribe and ring that bell so you won't miss out on the next one. I also created free, roughly A6 sized or half of US paper custom D&D character sheets for our Discord members to download that are designed for optimization, so feel free to check that out sometime as well. You can check out the character journal card link in this video and get a preview of them. I look forward to creating more content that will inspire and bring joy to all of you. See you in the next one, and as always, good luck!